Hello everyone, it's 25th of March, Monday, and we are back with daily cybersecurity news. Before we start, I would like to request if you can please like and subscribe my YouTube videos so that I can continue to create more useful videos. Okay, so starting with the with the summary. So we got 5 news to cover today. The first one, ransomware forces 2 chemical companies to order hundreds of new computers. Second one, Medtronic's implanted defibrillators vulnerable to life-threatening hacks. Number 3, Tesla car hacked and pawn to own contest. Number 4, researchers find 36 new security flaws in LTE protocol. And the fifth one, security flaw put RBS customers at risk of cyber attack. Going to the first one, this is from motherboard.wise.com, and the news is coming from the same ransomware attack which affected last week the aluminium company. So this ransomware attack appears to have affected 2 American chemical companies, Hexion and Momentive. Okay, that's in the news here. You can definitely find more details on this website with the message from the boss and some extra information, but I'm just gonna give you a quick summary to save your time first. Okay, so these 2 companies which make rings, silicones and other materials are controlled by the same investment fund and were hit by the ransomware on March 12th. An internal email obtained by Motherboard, the news company, and signed by Momentive's CEO refers to a global IT outage that required the company to deploy SWAT team to manage it. Based on the ransom message, the ransomware that hit Hexion and Momentive appears to be Locker Goga, if you remember the name from last week. Same ransomware that forced the aluminium manufacturer giant Norsk Hydro to shut down its worldwide network earlier. Motherboard cross-referenced the ransom message associated with the Momentive attack to known Locker Goga attacks and found that the language and formatting were identical. On the day of the attack, some of the company's Windows computers were hit with a blue screen error and their files were encrypted, as per information gathered from an employee who asked to remain anonymous, as per the news. As per the email sent by the management, the data on any computers that were hit with ransomware is probably lost, and that the company has ordered hundreds of new computers. As of now, there were only 2 known victims of Locker Goga, a relatively new type of malware that infects computers, encrypts their files, and asks for a ransom. The first known victim was Altran, a French engineering consulting firm that was hit in late January. Then earlier this week, the Norwegian aluminium giant Norsk Hydro revealed the same information about the ransomware attack. As per Kaspersky Lab spokesperson, they have knowledge of more victims around the world. Okay, moving on to the second news, which is about defibrillators vulnerable to life-threatening hacks, which is pretty serious. This news is coming from the Hacker News, and here the news goes. As per the US Department of Homeland Security, issued an advisory warning people of severe vulnerabilities in over a dozen heart defibrillators that could allow attackers to fully hijack them remotely, potentially putting lives of millions of patients at risk. These cardioverter defibrillators are small surgically implanted devices in the chest of patients that gives the patient's heart an electric shock, often called counter shock, to reestablish a normal heartbeat. While these devices have been designed to prevent sudden death, several implanted cardiac defibrillators made by one of the world's largest medical devices company, Medtronic, have been found vulnerable to 2 serious vulnerabilities. These vulnerabilities were discovered by the researchers from the security firm Clever Security, and the vulnerabilities could allow threat actors with knowledge of the medical devices to intercept and potentially impact the functionality of these life-saving devices. These vulnerabilities resides in the Connexus radio frequency telemetry protocol, a wireless communication system used by some of the Medtronic defibrillators and their control units to wirelessly connect to implanted devices over the air using radio waves. The company Medtronic, who create these devices, noted that its line of implanted pacemakers, including those with the Bluetooth wireless functionality, as well as CareLink Express monitors and CareLink Encore programmers used by some hospitals in Phoenix, are not vulnerable, so they are safe. The company has already applied additional controls for monitoring and responding to the abuse of Connexus protocol by the affected implanted cardiac device and is working on a fix to address the reported vulnerabilities. Moving on to third news, which is about Tesla cars. Tesla cars were hacked at Point-to-Own contest, which we discussed last week also on Friday. This contest happening in Canada. So you can see some videos about the different days of Point-to-Own. The final results video is this one. Then there is other video of 1 day results, day 1 results, day 2 results. Okay, so going to this news, which is pretty important for Tesla. A team of security researchers has hacked Tesla Model 3 on the last day of the Point-to-Own hacking contest that was held in last week in Vancouver, Canada. The team, flaw, made up of the 2 researchers, hacked the Tesla car via its browser. They used a JIT bug in the browser renderer process to execute code on the car's firmware and show a message on its entertainment system. As per contest rules announced last fall, the duo now gets to keep the car. Besides keeping the car, they also received the $35,000 reward. Okay, so moving on to the fourth news. Researchers find 36 new security flaws in LTE protocol. So this news is coming from ZDNet, and a group of academics from South Korea had identified 36 new vulnerabilities in LTE long-term evaluation standard used by thousands of mobile networks and hundreds of millions of users across the world. These vulnerabilities allow attackers to disrupt mobile base stations, block incoming calls to the device, disconnect users from mobile networks, send spoofed SMS messages, and eavesdrop and manipulate user data traffic. They were discovered by this Korean team, 4-person researcher team from KAIST, Korea Advanced Institute of Science Technology, and they have published the document which you can find on the ZDNet news. They are going to present it in the IEEE symposium on late May 2019. The vulnerabilities have been the driving force behind efforts to create the new and improved 5G standard, but unfortunately it's isn't that secure either, as per research already done by some researchers. So these Korean researchers discovered this sheer number of flaws by using a technique known as fuzzing. You know, to read more about fuzzing, it's pretty famous. A code testing method that inputs a large quantity of random data into an application and analyzes the output for abnormalities, which in turn give developers a hint about the process of possible bugs. According to this paper from KIST, researchers built a semi-automated testing tool named LTE Fuzz, which they use to craft malicious connections to a mobile network and then analyze the network's response, because the flaws reside in both the protocol itself and how some vendors have implemented LTE. Researchers believe many other flaws still exist in the real world. Moving on to the last news for today, security flaw put RBS customers at risk of cyber attack. This news is coming from BBC, and since January this year, the banking group has begun to offer its business banking customers a product called Thor Foresight Enterprise, which is free of charge. Although the security researchers uncovered a flaw in it that made customers less secure. The bug has now been fixed with Hemdel Security, which estimated that about 50,000 people were using the vulnerable software. RBS said it had only affected NatWest customers, as it was not yet being deployed for RBS and Ulster banks. Security researchers told the BBC that they were able to gain access to victims' computer very easily, and attackers could have had complete control of that person's email, internet history, and bank details. And to do this, what researchers have to do is that they have to intercept the user's internet traffic, but that is quite simple to do when you consider the unsecured public Wi-Fi out there, and it's often all too easy to compromise home Wi-Fi setups also. So Hemidal Tor is a security software that runs at a high level of privilege on users' machines. It's essential that it is held to the highest possible standards, and researchers feel that they have fallen far short. Okay, so that covers our daily news for today. We'll see you everyone again soon. Thank you for watching.